Think that you know everything about microgreens? Well, think again. From their taste to their nutrition, the myths about these tiny greens are bigger than you might think. Today, we're gonna bust those biggest myths about microgreens and uncover the surprising truths that could change the way you eat your microgreens forever. Hey microgreen thumbs, this is Connor Hebel here with Amelia Island Microgreens, the go-to place for all things microgreen learning. Today, we're gonna be diving into the world of microgreens to bust some of the biggest myths out there. From the taste to the nutrition, there's a lot to uncover. So stick around. This might just change the way you think about microgreens. And at the very end of this video, I will share with you a secret tip that is super shocking and has blown my mind, and I know it will blow yours. So microgreens have been making waves in kitchens around the world. They're young, nutrient-packed greens with a reputation for being a superfood. But with popularity comes a lot of misinformation. Are they really just a passing fad? Do they really taste like their mature versions? Are they only for fancy foodies? Let's separate the facts from fiction once and for all. First up, the very first myth is about what microgreens taste like. Do they taste like their mature counterparts? Many people think, if I don't like kale or spinach, I definitely won't like their microgreen counterpart. But here's the truth. Microgreens have a different taste and a more delicate flavor profile. So some even taste more sweeter or nuttier. Chefs and foodies love them for their unique taste, and trust me, your taste buds might too. And here's a really cool fun fact about microgreens. Are you one of those people who eat cilantro and it just tastes like soap? Well, the cool thing is, the microgreen stage of cilantro might not taste like that for you. There are many people who have that same thing with their taste buds that can eat cilantro microgreens just fine. While you may not like one vegetable, the microgreen version may just be the right solution for you. And here's a little secret. If you don't like eating vegetables, just add them to your sandwiches or a smoothie and you won't even notice them. I like to do like broccoli, kales, collards. They're more mellow, you don't really taste them, so you can just add them right in without really noticing them. If you're someone who likes them to stand out, then more of an oriental mustard or a radish will really enhance the flavor of your meals. Another favorite is sunflower and peas because they're nice and crunchy. Myth 2. Next, let's tackle the idea that microgreens are only for fancy foodies to eat at the most high-end restaurants. Sure, you'll probably see them adorning a $50 entree or at the store for like $10 for a little tiny tray. But the truth is that microgreens are incredibly accessible. They're easy to grow, affordable, and anyone, even you, can add them to your everyday meals. You don't need a 5-star restaurant to enjoy them. And as I like to say, you may not have a green thumb, but you have a microgreen thumb. It is so easy and simple to grow them yourself, and it is so much more affordable to do so. While microgreens are excellent to top on a steak or a nice fancy meal, they can be great on their own, just eating them by themselves as a nutritional benefit. You can also throw them into anything you're eating, soups, salads, sandwiches. It doesn't have to be that fancy restaurant you like to go to. By the way, if you're looking to dive even deeper into the world of microgreens, specifically how they can benefit your reptiles, text the word reptile to 26786. That is reptile to 26786. You'll get exclusive, in-depth knowledge that you won't find anywhere else. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any microgreen tips or tricks. And while you're here, let me know in the comments below, has this been shocking to you so far? Have you found any aha moments? I can almost guarantee you that these next couple myths are gonna blow your mind. So let's get to them. Myth number 3, microgreens are artificially flavored. I've had many people sample the oriental mustard microgreens, which are the cousin to wasabi, and they ask me, how do you flavor these microgreens? Because they taste so good. We've become so disconnected from nutritionally dense food that really tastes good. A lot of our food in the store, it doesn't taste like it used to taste 50 years ago. And so we think it must be flavored. The truth is, you're getting the healthiest food and it tastes good because that's how food's supposed to taste. There is no artificial flavors, there's no chemicals, no dyes, no pesticides that are in your microgreens. It's all clean, fresh, nutrient-dense produce. And if you're thinking, microgreens are no healthier than the vegetables I buy at the store, think again. Microgreens have been shown to be up to 40% more nutrient-dense than your mature vegetables. So they are super healthy for you, and they're live. A lot of the produce you get at the store has been harvested weeks, maybe months before you get it, so it's already nutritionally depleted. So to have something live right at your kitchen countertop is such an incredible thing. And microgreens have been shown to have significantly higher levels of vitamins, such as, for example, kale having a significantly higher level of vitamin C and E compared to mature kale. These tiny greens are a nutritional powerhouse. Myth number 4, the growing difficulty. This is the myth that you have to have fancy equipment, it's gonna be so hard, it takes all your time and all your energy, and it leaves you with nothing else to do in the day. This is simply untrue. First of all you need is a small tray, such as the one in our microgreen kit, some seeds, some soil, and just put it near a window. You don't need to have fancy grow lights. That's more when you're growing to sell to other restaurants or to other people. What you'll find if you're like me and you love microgreens is that's the stage you'll end up going to, but that's not where you start. You start out with just a small tray. It's super simple. And like I mentioned before, you may not have a green thumb, but you have a microgreen thumb because microgreens take only 7 days to grow. So that means that if you can keep a plant alive for just 7 days, you can do this. And it is so simple. Plus, I have all sorts of videos on how to grow your microgreens, so you're not alone in this process. I'm here to help, and on your box, you'll have my number. Call me if you have any questions, concerns, or you just want to make sure that you're doing it right. Because you're learning, and I want to be there to support you. I've been growing microgreens for 12 years, and so I want to impart that knowledge that I've learned through my trial and error. One of the other excellent parts about growing microgreens is that since it only takes about 7 to 10 days, if you're someone who travels a lot, you can grow your microgreens and just leave like a 2-week window. So start growing your microgreens, and then after 2 weeks, you can go traveling again because you'll have that time for it to grow and then time to eat it. After that, just don't plant them until you come back. And then once you come back, grow your microgreens again. So that's a really great thing. Whereas if you grow a garden, you're gonna have to be tied to that garden. You have to hope and pray that the rain's gonna come, or you're gonna have to put in the watering system to do that. With microgreens, you really don't have to worry about that. And that's something that I really love about microgreens. They're very low key, easy to handle. And to be honest, I have a succulent graveyard because I couldn't sustain that long period of time to take care of those plants. After a while, I got sidetracked on my new project. And so to be able to take a pause and be able to do something different gives me that time to come back to microgreens when I'm ready to do that. And I know that a lot of people squirrel and do a bunch of things and then forget to water. If you miss one day of watering microgreens, you will be okay. Just try not to count on it. Microgreens are hardy and they typically will come back. You'll just want to water them while they're growing once a day, and that's about as much maintenance as you need. There's no weeding, no worrying about bugs, no creating a whole big garden bed, the weather, all of that stuff that you have to worry about with gardening. So it's so much simpler. And if you're someone who can't get outside or has a lot of health challenges, this is a great way for you to be able to grow your own food right at your kitchen countertop where you have easy access to it. There are times where I may not be able to get outside, but I can still grow my microgreens. And there's such a huge benefit in being able to grow your own produce. It really helps your mental health. And so to be able to cultivate something while you're not feeling that great can really be a huge improvement in your life. So remember that secret tip I mentioned earlier? It's coming up in just a moment. So what's the verdict? Microgreens aren't just pretty garnishes. They're versatile, nutrient-dense, and accessible for anyone. They can cultivate any meal, whether it's a salad, sandwich, or smoothie. And growing them, it's simple. Anyone can do it. Everyone has a microgreen thumb. So now I want to hear from you. Have you tried growing microgreens? Did you grow them at home? Share some of your tips, tricks, or favorite ways to use them in the comments below. And if you're curious on how to get started growing microgreens, check out my video on beginner tips. It's packed with everything you need to know, linked in the description below. And if you're ready to take your microgreen growing to the next level, check out my website, AmeliaIslandMicrogreens.com, and get your very own microgreen kit today. Myth 5. Buying store-bought microgreens is the same quality as growing your microgreens at home. This is not the case. There are a couple big benefits to growing your microgreens at home that you won't get from store-bought microgreens. The very first one is that when you grow your own microgreens, they are going to be fresh. You're going to be able to harvest your microgreens right when you're ready to eat them, which means that they've been live up until the moment you're about to harvest them. When you get your store-bought microgreens, they've already been harvested, and so they're degrading, they're losing their nutrition. Another huge factor in this is that since you're still growing your microgreens as you're eating them, that means that you have another 7 to 14 days that your already grown microgreens won't have. So growing them yourself will give you a longer shelf life. Another huge benefit is you're in control of what goes on it. You're in control of the water, the soil, the seeds, everything. Okay, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for, the secret tip. And today's secret tip is one that is absolutely fascinating. It's on sulforaphanes. What are sulforaphanes? Sulforaphanes are a phytonutrient that have been researched to aid in cancer prevention. And what they do is they cause cancer cells to autophagize, which basically means commit suicide, which that is so incredible to have a phytonutrient that can potentially do this. So sulforaphanes are usually seen in your leafy vegetables, such as your broccolis, kales, collards, cabbages, all of your brassica family. And in your microgreens, there's been research to be about 10 to 100 times more sulforaphane than your mature vegetable. Not 10 to 100%, 10 to 100 times. When you eat your vegetables in the microgreen stage, you're getting a super packed superfood. It is so incredible. And hearing that from Dr. Berg completely shocked me. We all should be eating microgreens because sulforaphanes are such a powerful phytonutrient. Another video that I'll show right here from Dr. Berg talks about that sulforaphanes can also be used to help reduce the effects of autism. And that is pretty incredible. It works on the inflammation in our brain. Remember, sometimes the tiniest of things, like microgreens, have the biggest impact. So why not give them a try? Until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, stay awesome.